Well, I'm just inside the portal of this abandoned mine, so let's go check it out. That's looking out. You can see the erosion pile there. I had to slide down. It's almost all the way up to the top of the arch. So, making my way down this main haulage tunnel. Well, I tell you, it's nice and warm in here. It's about 40 degrees Fahrenheit outside right now. In here, it's probably closer to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. So, got some old timbers down here. And some timbers in the overhead there. That one's burned. And this is probably, looks like this might have been a place to store dynamite. Yeah, it probably was. All these timbers here and stuff. There's probably shelving in here. And this was the dynamite storage locker, I'm guessing. Okay, got some more cart tracks here. Some rusted ore cart tracks. And this must be a bat roosting place. All this guano on the ground. I think that's bat guano. And usually you see it in piles like that. And that means they usually hang out right above that pile, but I don't see any bats. So anyway, yeah, I guess they use the same roosting spots over and over in these abandoned mines. But got a little bit of a turn here to the left. And looks like some more stuff up ahead. Let's go check it out. Okay, kind of making some turns here. Looks like that was an arrow there, but that may have gone somewhere. I see some timbers there on the side, support timbers, but that's been totally backfilled or caved in. And over here, that's just a dead end. Yeah, I do believe there's a vertical shaft higher on the hillside, so some of this may have been connecting up with that. Like right there, you can see the ore cart tracks made a split here at one time and did go that way, but not anymore. Well, the tracks just keep on curving there. That's another area where that looks like it might go somewhere, but I'm going to stick to the main tunnel for now. You can see the tracks up there kind of curving there to the left. I don't think I've been in a mine in quite some time that's been this, that has this many curves in it. This is really kind of meandering all over the place. Okay, so above here in the tunnel, you see support timbers there with other timbers placed perpendicular. And that probably goes up into a stope, which is a large chamber that the miners were mining in. And there's probably a ton. Oh, no, there isn't, but look, it does go up. Oh, there is a ladder there. See the ladder? That's interesting. That must go up to upper areas. I thought this was was going to have waste rock on it, but looks like it does right in that section. It's walled off right there. All the waste rock is behind those timbers. And this was like either a ventilation raise or maybe an emergency escape. There's a ladder, but we can't get up there. But yeah, you can see all the rocks here that are resting on these timbers. Wow, these are, those support timbers are like almost a foot in diameter. I think that one is more than a foot in diameter. But look how neatly they were laid in place, and then all the rocks are on top of them. Oh wow, look at this. It continues. See, it goes up there at an angle and then comes down at an angle. That's pretty impressive. I wonder why they made the ceiling go up here. There might have been something sitting right here, a piece of machinery, maybe, I don't know. And they needed to have extra clearance for it. But that's a dead end there. But yeah, check that out. That's looking back the way we came. That's pretty impressive. But there's a lot of weight on those rocks. And one day, this will all collapse. Continues this way as well. Here you can sort of see up. Oh, here's another kind of a dead end raise, but yeah, look at that. A lot of timbering in this mine. I wonder why they kept this little area cleared out. Unless that was, again, for ventilation. The timbers there are missing, so I don't know. Hard to figure out what was going on in these mines. This one dates back to the probably late 1800s, early 1900s, something like that. Here's more of the ceiling, and it stops right here. That might go somewhere. Check that out. We'll check that out on the way back. But let's keep following the ore cart tracks. Looks like here's some miners' graffiti. Can't quite tell what that says or what that's supposed to be. Almost looks like a pig nose right there, and then two eyes above it. I don't know. Miners would have made that with their carbide lights, their carbide lanterns. Yeah, kind of low clearance here. That's a dead end. Okay, more of this crazy ceiling. Wow. Check that out. That's amazing. Some of these timbers are burned too, which is kind of strange. You think they all would be burned if somebody was lighting fires in here. Let's take a look back. Yeah, you can see like there's a level on top of the ceiling there. The miners would sometimes work on those timbers as they worked the stope, so that would be a false floor. And from down here, it's a ceiling. Let's keep going forward. Okay, we're headed that way, but we're in another chamber here. You can sort of see right up there in the overhead, in the what they would call the back of the mine, the ceiling, where my light is there, is kind of like a seam. That might have been the vein or the seam they were following. See that? And it comes down right there in the tunnel arch. I bet that's what they were following, what they were mining. Oh, here we got one of the resident bats. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here. Let me get up here and check this out. see if it's passable. Okay, can't go any further. That's pretty much backfilled all the way to the top. But the strange thing is I can feel airflow coming at me kind of consistently. So that must not be a very thick or deep plug. But I'm not going to punch through there. But yeah, there's definite airflow here. I'm surprised there's airflow because the way we just came, you know, we're pretty far in. Just came from that way, so. Well, anyway, let's head back and check out some of those branches and see if they're passable. So a lot of people ask, what are these wooden stakes that you always see in the tunnels near the ceiling? Here's one more down here. These were used, the wires there hanging from the wooden stake was used to either hang up the ventilation tubing or electrical lights and things like that. So those are really, really common in these abandoned mines and are often some of the only artifacts besides the ore cart tracks that are left in place. Okay, this one branching tunnel here, I'm checking out on the way back out. Looks like it was just completely backfilled, almost all the way to the ceiling. I can see the face of the tunnel there at the very end, so that doesn't go anywhere. If it did, there's no way to access it, so no need to go crawling through there. So let's head back out to the main haulage tunnel and continue our way back out to the portal. So all this timbering, they used part of an old dynamite box as a wedge. See that? It says it's upside down. I can't quite see what that says. Something explosives. I'll be able to see that when I get home and look at the footage. I can zoom in on it. But that's part of an old dynamite box. So the miners were pretty thrifty. They used whatever they could to make ends meet. And here's more wedges that are just pieces of lumber stuck in place. But yeah, that's part of an old explosives box. Well, make no bones about it, that's definitely an animal skeleton. Probably cattle. There's a lot of free-range cattle out here roaming these hills. Yeah, I would guess those are mountain lion tracks. They probably come to this puddle to drink after they're done feasting on all those bones. But yeah, lots of paw prints everywhere. Right there. So those paw prints come up to here, and I think maybe a mountain lion was trying to get into the marrow. See that there? That kind of like light brown, golden colored stuff. I think that's what they do. They come up here, mountain lions or whatever, and gnaw on these bones. So I'm probably standing in a mountain lion kill zone and should probably get out of here. But here's looking around.